face and voice of Africa. The story of resurgent and burgeoning Africa is here, only on the Pulse of Africa channel. Pulse of Africa, the face and voice of Africa.
Hello, I'm your host Gamechisa Mandira. For this hour's news, let's start with the African Union. The chairperson of the African Union Commission, Mohamed Ali Yusuf, has called for urgent and coordinated international action in response to the escalating crisis in Mali. Chairperson Yusuf expressed deep concern over the rapidly deteriorating security situation where terrorist groups have imposed blockades, disrupted access to essential supplies, and severely worsened humanitarian conditions for civilians. He strongly condemned the deliberate attacks targeting innocent populations, describing them as unacceptable acts that have led to significant loss of life and growing instability across affected regions. Reaffirming his solidarity with the government and the people of Mali, as well as with the families of the victims, the chairperson reiterated the African Union's unwavering commitment to supporting peace, security, and sustainable development throughout the Sahel. The chairperson urged a robust, coordinated and coherent international response to counter terrorism and violent extremism in the Sahel, emphasizing the need to enhance cooperation, intelligence sharing and sustained support for affected states. The Nigerian Independent System Operator, in collaboration with the West African Power Pool Information and Coordination Center, has successfully synchronized Nigeria's national electricity grid with the broader West African power network. The long-awaited test, a historic breakthrough for regional energy integration, took place on Saturday, November 8, 2025. It connected Nigeria and Niger Republic and parts of Benin and Togo to the rest of the West African grid, marking the first successful attempt at a unified regional power system operating at a single frequency and connecting 15 West African countries. A joint statement by the chairman of the Nigerian Independent System Operators Board of Directors, Adesegun Akin Olugabi, and the Chief Executive Officer, Adubu Bello Mohammed, on Sunday described the milestone as a major leap toward achieving the vision of a stable, reliable and interconnected electricity market in the ECOWAS sub-region.
This is Africa, the cradle of humanity, the frontier of the future, a land of visionaries, creators and pioneers, a continent of unstoppable energy where innovation meets tradition, where voices rise, loud and fearless.
I am an African.
This is the heartbeat of a billion people, diverse, bold, united by a single purpose to tell our own stories in our own way. No borders, no barriers, no filters. A new era of African storytelling is here. From every corner of the continent, from the bustling cities to the quiet village, we tell Africa's story by Africans for the world. This is the land of a rising Africa, where Africa speaks and the world listens. This is why today we bring you POA, Pulse of Africa, the face and voice of Africa.
Mozambique needs $37.2 billion to achieve full climate resilience, according to President Daniel Chapo. Chapo announced this figure on Thursday in his speech at the plenary session of the United Nations Climate Leaders Summit COP30 in the Brazilian city of Belém do Pará. According to Chapo, the mobilization of funding is crucial for climate justice and for the survival of countries most vulnerable to climate change. Funding pledges must be honored and put into operation, he said. The Loss and Damage Fund must become a true instrument of global climate justice. Developed countries must lead by example, scaling up their mitigation actions and ensuring predictable and sufficient financial and technological support. Chapo believes that climate equity must recognize the right of African countries to development, including access to clean energy, resilient infrastructure, and sustainable industrial opportunities. Indian President Draupadi Murmu held a meeting with her Angolan counterpart João Manuel González Lourenço on Sunday. The two leaders agreed to continue working together to deepen bilateral cooperation encompassing areas such as energy, partnerships, infrastructures, defense, health, agriculture and digital technologies. President Murmu and President Lourenço also witnessed the signing and exchange of memoranda of understanding on cooperation in fisheries, aquaculture and marine resources, as well as consular matters. President Murmu reiterated India's commitment to being a reliable partner in Angola's development journey bilaterally as well as in the broader framework of the India-Africa Forum Summit, the President's Secretariat said in a statement on X. Kanono Ramashamal, Principal Secretary for Lesotho's Information, Communications, Science, Technology and Innovation, has urged students to show courage and creativity in adopting artificial intelligence, stressing that it is already shaping the present and the future. Speaking at the Ministry's 2025 Science Festival themed Embracing Applications of AI, Ramashamal told tertiary students, exhibitors and AI experts that the event serves as both a progress report and a challenge to prepare for future jobs, build a strong digital economy and use AI for national growth. He noted that AI is transforming global sectors including smart farming, modern transport, healthcare and public services while creating new ways to solve problems and drive opportunities. For Lesotho, he said this opens the door to developing a local AI ecosystem that boosts productivity, competitiveness and inclusive development. Botswana signed a strategic partnership agreement Thursday with 4 international investors in a move the government said will strengthen energy security and overhaul the country's electricity infrastructure. The agreement, announced at a ceremony at the National Television headquarters in Gaborone, brings together Alsan Holding, 35 Global Links, Mercuria Asia Holdings, PTE Limited, and Innovation Global Industries as long-term partners in Botswana's effort to reduce reliance on power imports. At the event, President Boko said Botswana's electricity deficit and overstretched transmission system made it necessary to bring in committed international partners. He emphasized that partnership would enable Botswana to domestically produce fuel, diesel and other petroleum byproducts, reducing import dependence and creating new export opportunities. Ultimately, this partnership will carry us to the last phase, which is a coal to liquid phase, where we will be able to generate our own fuel, diesel and other petroleum byproducts in country, he said, adding that Alsan Holding had already demonstrated serious commitment through action rather than words. Senegal's Prime Minister Ousmane Sonko urged citizens on Saturday to endure sacrifices for an economic turnaround in 2 to 3 years. President Bassirou Diomaye Faye, who won the 2024 election, promised debt reduction and growth revival at large. The government recently introduced taxes on tobacco, alcohol, gambling and common digital transfers. Concerning government austerity steps, I call on the Senegalese to make sacrifices for 2 or 3 years, and I'm confident you will, Sonko said at a Pastef party gathering near Dakar. He noted cuts to state spending, including halts on buying vehicles and funding official travel and workshops. In August 2025, Sonko launched a recovery strategy for the country, emphasizing increased reliance on the local financing. Now let's check the current weather forecast. That's all for now. Thank you for tuning in. Have a good day.